Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So as you can tell from the title, today's video is about German exam. So a few weeks ago, I got my results for my German B1 exam. I wrote the German B1 TELC exam and I scored 259 out of 300. So I passed my exam. So I just want to make this video to give like my experience and maybe some tips and tricks to anybody else who is preparing for the exam. So the first thing I want to start with is in Germany we have different types of B1. We have the one that is prepared by Goethe, and then Telk B1 itself, and then DTZ, B1. DTZ B1 is for people who did the regular integration courses. They are the only ones entitled to do the DTZ. Now, every other person can either do Telk or go to B1 exam. Now, if you're preparing for the exam, depending on which one you're going for, if you're going for Gote, please only use past question material that is from Gote itself, because the three of them have different structures and different ways of doing the exam. So don't, so that you don't get yourself confused, because if you're writing DTZ and you're using telc past questions material to prepare for your exam, you just be confused because there's a slight difference, and there's a difference in their structure. Now, for the TELC exam, it is divided into four parts. We have the lesen, that is reading, and then we have the Hören, that is hearing. We also have the Schreiben, which is writing, and then we have Sprechen, which is the speaking part. Now, for the lesen part, it is divided into about 4 or 5 parts. For the lesen part, the advice I will give is to widen your vocabulary, like learn new words. Whenever you're reading something and you find a new word that you don't know the meaning, translate it, know what it means, because it's going to be confusing that you would read a whole text and you do not have a clue or an idea of what that text is talking about. And your vocabulary is the only thing that will be able to help you know what you cannot know all the words, that is for sure, but at least you'll be able to know some words to be able to get the context of what the text is talking about. So reading newspapers in German, magazines, storybooks in German will actually help a lot. Now, secondly, when you get your questions, always try to scan through the questions first before you start, going to the main text itself. Like, try to read through the questions and know what you need to do in the questions. And anytime you're at any question and it is seeming so hard for you, leave it, move to the next one as fast as possible. Then after, you can always come back to it. Don't waste all your time dying to know the answer to question one when you still have like about 5 to 10 questions to still answer. Then the next part is the Horian. And this Horian, when you're practicing for your Horian before your exam, please do not practice with headphones or earpiece or AirPods and all those things. Practice without it, because during the exam, the audio will be played for you and you would not be putting on any headphones. It will just be played for you in front of the whole class. So in TELC, the way their own Horian is the audio will be played for you in one part. I think there are two parts of it where the audio will be played just once, and then there's one part where the audio will be played twice. So read through the questions first before they even start playing the audio. What helps more in developing your hearing capability is watching movies in German, and don't watch movies or stuff that you're not interested in. Like, watch things that you're interested in German. Also, listening to podcasts. We have so many podcasts, but I can recommend Coffee Break German, and I can also recommend Easy German. They are on YouTube. So the more you listen to it when you're doing your house chores, when you're just doing stuff, just keep listening to it. Sometimes there are also some children cartoons that can help you. But the thing is, those children cartoons, they speak pretty slow in a way, like Peppa Pig and Connie, they speak a bit slow because usually those Horian, they speak faster than those cartoons. So that's the reason why I don't really recommend watching those cartoons if your aim is to prepare for the exam. So the next is Schreiben, and for this Schreiben, in other exams like DTZ, for instance, you'll be asked to pick between a particular topic and another one. But in Telc, you will be given a topic and you need to respond to it. Like you either be given an email or a letter to write on. Somebody would probably write a letter to you or an email to you, and you need to respond accordingly. So one of the most important thing to help you with your scribing is knowing if the letter or the email is formal or informal, because that would, the tone will be different. Now also there are certain places where you need to use capital letters and small letters when writing. Don't forget that part is also important. I know it's easy to forget because honestly the time for describing is very very short and it passes like so fast. Show that you're at B1 level for scribing, there are certain this thing conjunction words that you're expected to use. It's like trot them, obvol, outside them, val, das, those kind of words are B1 level words. So make sure you infuse those words in your letter writing. So to help you with scribing, I think you would have to do a lot of mock tests preparation. Like there's so many resources on YouTube. In fact, there was an app I downloaded. It's B1 Schreiben, B1 yeah, B1 Schreiben German app. In that app you will see like different letters, different scenarios, letters and responses. So just do a lot of practice, practice, practice. The more you practice with the scribing is the more you get used to certain words. It will just naturally come to you. When you're doing the scribing, please don't try to translate English to German. Like there's no time for you to start writing in English and you want to translate to German, or maybe you want to arrange your letter in your question paper before you want to transfer. No, as you're giving you the answer booklet, start writing directly on the answer booklet. Thankfully, the exam you're going to be using pencil, so you can always clean and write again. Now for the expression part, you guys. Can you believe I scored the full marks in the expression? Do not be so fixated on your grammatics. The most important thing is for you to be able to understand what's happening, confidently speak, you know and don't be too fast. Just take your time, confidently speak bit by bit, so that every other person there will be able to understand what you're saying. Now during the exam, once you're done with your lesen, your Horian and your schreiben, you'll be given like 20 minutes to prepare for your expression part. So they would give you a guideline of what you're going to be doing in the expression. Is like basically you introducing yourself, like your name, your hobbies, where you're from, and all those things. So during that your preparation time, if there's any extra thing you want to add in your introduction, you can actually write it down on the paper that is given to you so that you will not forget it. Like maybe you introduce yourself and you want to say something about your home country. Like you want to say, oh, my home country is a beautiful place, is this, we have this kind of thing there and all those things. You can write it down there in your paper so that when you go in to speak with your partner, you will not forget about it. Now the teacher might also ask you one or two questions about some of the things you've been saying. So make sure any information you're giving out is something that if you're being asked a question back, you'll be able to at least say a little bit of something. You guys will be speaking about a particular topic, you and your partner. Usually it's the same topic, but like one person is for and the other person is having an opposing part. Like for instance, I can be giving a text about somebody who likes to travel in group, and the other person will be given a text about somebody who likes to travel alone. So traveling is the common denominator. It's just that one person likes group and the other person likes to travel alone. So during your Vorbereitung time, when you're preparing before you enter, read through this text, underline some key sentences and some key words that you will be needing, like the most important factor. Okay, this person likes to travel alone. Why does she like traveling alone? What does she gain when she travels alone? Like there are certain things that are very important in the text. Try to underline it. And the point of this whole conversation is not for you to go and read the text back to the person exactly. Let me add, Redemeter is very important. There are certain figure of speech you have to use when you are trying to explain something or ask question in all this type of context, so that the person who is listening to you will be like, okay, he or she really like understand what he or she's talking about. Don't try to over impress. All they just want is you really get the context of what is happening, and you can make two or three simple sentences to explain the context to somebody else. It's just your ability to communicate. The final part of the expression is adverse planning. You'll be given an activity to plan with your partner, and the activity would probably also involve other people as well. So that shows you're in B1 level. So during this advanced planning, like I said before, radar meters are very important. There are radar meters you need to familiarize yourself with. You would always use it across any activity, any situation at all. So all this radar meter during your preparation time, you can write them down on the paper you're giving to, during your preparation time. So that when you go in with it, sometimes you just glance at it, and because the issue is that some people know these things, but the tension that comes with the exam, it's your first time and all of that, might just make you forget. One of the things I would say for this advanced planning is, don't be an OS member. Okay, it's not everything your partner says, oh, that's clean good, yeah, stimmt. It's not everything you say yes, yes, yes to. Sometimes you say no, sometimes you say no, and then you offer another suggestion. Also try to look up a lot of mock text and exams for different scenarios, of this advanced planning. In fact, let me know, like, it's not easy. All the whole this thing I prepared with, like I read, I familiarized myself with, like, the particular one that seemed the simplest, which I had seen, but for some reason I didn't even take my time to, plan with it, was what actually came out for my advanced planning. Like they said, like we had a friend who was sick and we needed to go prepare with our friends on when to go visit him, what to buy for him, some of the activities to do for him at his house. And that thing was like one of the simplest, and I've been seeing it everywhere. But for some reason I was just like, I was busy familiarizing myself with the ones that felt difficult and difficult. And before I knew it, I never got to even, you know, do this part. I never got to prepare with it at all. Try to not allow your partner be the only person who is speaking, because if your partner, because there are people that when you go, they speak more than you. You will see them there. They will want to outshine you in the exam and show that they can speak better than you. Don't allow them to outshine you. When they speak. If you're not able to hear them properly, maybe because of their accent or something like that, you ask them the question again. What did you say? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it the first time. Say it again, and then you take your time to slowly answer the question. Because if you allow them to outshine you, the person who is listening to you, you might know it. The person will feel that you don't actually know it and you don't know what is happening, just because you're just quiet and because you're allowing your partner to say basically everything. So, I just want to add maybe one or two YouTube channels you can actually use. Obviously there are so many YouTube channels, like so many, but I would advise you not to learn with too many teachers, because every teacher has their pattern and their way. If there are two or three teachers you can stick to, it's always best to just stick to them. But if you learn with so many people, you just end up being confused, because they will come with different things, different patterns, and you just be like confused. The first on the list, Benjamin the Deutschlehrer. Seriously, he actually does break things down in the simplest way. You would be able to understand it. Another channel, which I've never heard before, but I stumbled upon her channel and she was really good. I was even surprised I was able to understand most of what she was saying. Is Karina Multilingual. She doesn't only teach German though. Her channel is not like only German focused, but she really gives good um explanation when it comes to the exam, how to answer some of the questions. And then there's another channel, Deutsche Compact. This one, he speaks like a grandfather. He's very slow and he takes his words one after the other, little by little. I use this channel to have more understanding about the Sprachbausteine. Benjamin also, teaches about it, but for some reason, I don't know why I prefer this other guy's way and all that. So I have come to the end of today's video. I hope this video was helpful to someone out there. See you in my next video. Bye.